Hello everyone. So by now you know that Keploy has made E2E testing easy for developers. We have SDK support for programming languages like Golang, Java, and TypeScript. And there are various frameworks that Keploy supports too for each of these languages. Today we're going to be checking the integration for one such framework and see if Keploy supports that too. And the name of that particular framework is Redis. Redis is a NoSQL database that instead of storing the data in a structured format is more like a huge JSON file with the key value pairs stored in it. Instead of using a disk, it uses a RAM. The reason for it being too fast as well as volatile at the same time. So we're gonna be checking if Kepler supports Redis too by integrating it into one of our application. And in order to do that, we need to run the Kepler server, of course. I have installed Kepler using binary, and it is much more convenient when I have to run the Kepler server because I need to just enter a single command that is Kepler to run the same. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, so the Keploy server is running as we are using Redis integration. So I will like to run the Redis server tool. Okay, so the Redis server has also started running. We'll go to the sample application that we have in our GitHub organization for Golang. I'm using a URL shortener one, and for that, I'm using the Echo SQL example. I'm integrating Redis in the same. I have imported all the important modules that are required for this application and integrating Redis to it, printing a statement so that I could know that the Redis server is running and has been integrated completely into this application. I have provided the appropriate value to these keys. You can also create a Redis database, and after creating one, when you get a password, you can paste that password as a value here and assign a value 1 to the database. I'm using append command to check if the Redis server is working or not. You can also use the Redis CLI after running the Redis server to check the same. And for this application, we are using Echo to routing out the responses and SQL for storing the data. I'll open a new terminal and run the instance for Postgres for the application using the docker compose command. Okay, it is up to date. And now we'll be exporting an environment variable by giving it a value as record in order to record all the test cases. Okay, let's do that. And now we'll simply run our application. Okay. So it has started running and we have received the response as integrating Redis that we wanted to print out, uh, implying that the integration is working fine. And we have also got the Pong as a response, which indicates that the Redis server is also running. Now we'll make few API calls. You can use any API management tool like Hopscotch, Postman, Thunder Client to do the same. I'll be using a curl command to make the API request. And for that, I'll be navigating to a new tab and make the post request. I'll go to the repository of the sample application and use the curl command mentioned here. Here we are assigning the URL as GitHub because why not? And we have received a shortened URL as a response for the same. So we'll be making a GET request to check if this URL that has been returned works fine or not. Here we'll be entering the input that we got. Okay, so we have made two requests, post and get. Let's quickly see if these test cases are recorded. Oh yes, they are being recorded over here at the Kepler server. And now in order to get much more information about the test cases that we recorded, we'll do test runs by setting up the Keploy mode to test. But before that, we'll stop this server. Okay. Export Keploy mode to test. Okay. And now we'll do test runs. It may take a few minutes. Okay, so we have received a test coverage of 53.1%. We'll go back to the Keploy server and see if it's fine. Yes, so we have recorded the test cases for the post request and for the get request, and for the same we have got the test runs. To get much more information about this, you locally get a directory of test reports, and inside that you can actually see the report of the test runs. Every detail of it will be mentioned over there. For example, I'll let you go through this one as I have received a YAML file. I hope you are able to see this, the name of it, the status of it, and every detail of this particular test case recorded is stored locally in your machine. You can check that anytime you want. And now that all the test cases have been passed, let's intentionally do a failed one. We'll make some changes to the code base. Here, I'll just do URLs and save the handler.go file and repeat the steps. Okay, so I will now again set the Keploy mode to record. If you're not able to see, let me just clear this screen out. Okay, so I'll export the Keploy mode to record. Okay, it's been done. And I'll run the application again. Okay, it's running. We'll again make few API calls. I'll clear this terminal too first. Make a post request first. We got the shortened URL and we'll do a get one too. Okay, so now we'll go back to the Kepler server and yes, it's recorded again. So now we go back and stop this one and export the Keploy mode to test. Okay. Now we'll do few test runs. Okay, and as a result, I can get a fail over here because I made some changes into the code base of the success response. And here I have made API request for the URL one. So obviously it's not gonna take it. And let's go to the Keploy server, and here we can see that out of the 4 tests, 3 of them have been passed and 1 of them is failed. So you can get the details of the failed test case in the test report also. And here it is also being highlighted. So that's it from my side. I hope you got a clear understanding about Redis integration and the working of Keploy for a sample application. Have a good day ahead. Thank you for sticking till the end.